and 190/70 class. Here's Jake Sanson with the grid positions.
Starting off with the FIM 190 riders, Wilson Dilks and Tyler Humphreys on the front row of the starting grid, then Hudson Cooper and Charlie Cunningham. The fifth man in is Lucas King. Then going to the MiniGP 190/70 class, it is Joshua Herring and Harry Rafferty on the front row of the grid. Ollie Everts and David Wilton are going to be charging in further back. Two classes in one grid, so it's going to be a fascinating battle as ever. Wilson Dilks was only 25 hundredths of a second quicker than Tyler Humphreys in qualifying. And in the MiniGP 190/70 category, Josh Herring and Harry Rafferty are fairly similarly matched as well. Two race grids in one bout. Let's see how things kick off with the FIM 190s. Away we go, and it's an absolutely rapid start from Charlie Cunningham, who goes right round the outside of the entirety of the field and moves up into the lead. What a launch from Charlie Cunningham as they work their way through on this tippy-toe first lap. Very greasy and slippery conditions out there. It already looks as though Lucas King is dropping back from the pack, but Charlie Cunningham has absolutely monstered it around Dilks, Humphreys and Cooper, and now it's up to them to show the confidence to bounce back. So the 190/70 category, the four riders, Josh Herring, Harry Rafferty, Ollie Everts and David Wilton getting up to start as well. Split grid start as always, back with the FM 190s, and Charlie Cunningham leads the way in unbelievable fashion here. What a launch for Cunningham. Really got himself into a very decent position there and launched forward. He leads Dilks, then it's Humphreys and Cooper with Lucas King dropping back all the time. There's only one thing that matters in conditions like this at Three Sisters: confidence. You have got to have the measure of yourself, your bike and the extremities. We can see some spots of rain still on the camera lens, so it's not easy for these riders to run in proximity. Rafferty leading Herring in the 190/70 class. Everett still there in third ahead of Wilton. Not much has changed there at all. So back to the FIM 190s, and Charlie Cunningham is just disappearing in these conditions. He has just got what it takes. It is not easy to run at the front and disappear, particularly in a competition as competitive as the FIM MiniGP 190s. This is the road to MotoGP, and Charlie Cunningham couldn't have given himself a better advert for 2026 here. What an incredible run. So Cunningham leading and pulling away. 2.5 seconds already clear of Wilson Dilks. Then it's these two squabbling away. They go up over the top of the rise. This is such a challenging circuit in the wet conditions, using the wider run. So it's definitely going to be very tricky indeed to denote who is going to have the better of it. But what a tricky race this is in these conditions. The riders have absolutely nowhere to hide. You have got to be so focused in these very tricky conditions indeed. Through Lucy's Valley, the left-hander, and you can see that Hudson Cooper really is piling on the pressure to Tyler Humphreys as they go up towards the S's, left, then right, then left again as they head onto the Rogerson Straight. This is where it can get really greasy in these treacherous conditions. The lean angle is pretty good though, as the leaders in the MiniGP 190/70 are still having a fairly decent run of it up front as they go into Lucy's Valley. Rafferty from Herring, Everts and Wilton, no change there. Humphreys and Cooper, who have been almost at each other's throats all season, are still dueling as they work their way around Pentith Climb. And then they'll go up to the top of Coward Summit and drop down into Paddock Bend. Not easy to get this one done. Into the pit bend first of all. That brings them past the pits, and then they will go to the hairpin at Paddock Bend. So this is such a difficult circuit, and it is starting to rain again. So Humphreys and Cooper are essentially now just racing on instinct. This is a very difficult race circuit in these conditions. Even at Rowra, they wouldn't have found it as tricky as the conditions we have here, because it's so changeable lap to lap. And of course, you've also got the air temperature to take into account. It's August, so we've got the intensity of the heat as well. It doesn't make for an easy time of it. As through go the MiniGP 190/70 riders, Rafferty, Herring and Everts, and I think they've got ahead now of Lucas King in the FIM 190s, who's really not finding it easy in these conditions. Don't forget, you don't have any club racing at this level of motorsport. In these mini bikes, it's the British Championship or the sidelines. Pentith Climb, Up along Coward's Summit, has Hudson Cooper got the goods to go for Tyler Humphries as we watch on from the drone? Yeah, you just can't throw that kind of weight into these corners and expect it to balance. It's a bit of a chicken game at the moment, as these two riders are essentially toying with each other in the apexes to try and figure out who's got the gusto, who's got the determination to make it work. So tippy-toe all the way through. Hudson Cooper still can't quite get the measure of the front row man Tyler Humphries, but they've all been completely outgunned and outfoxed here by Charlie Cunningham, who is just riding away to the distance. Look at the rain back at the pit straight. This is very tricky indeed for the MiniGP 190/70 riders to navigate, as on the inside. Oh, bit of a look there from Ollie Everts. He had to think about it on the inside of Josh Herring. It wasn't going to happen on this occasion, but the treble one, Harry Rafferty, still controls it in MiniGP 190/70. Here is the FIM 190. Still this battle for third between Humphries and Cooper. They go round the right, up Pentith Climb, and then they'll drop out at Coward Summit. Again, Cooper just doing everything he can to get that little closer to Tyler Humphries. But all Humphries has got to do is place his bike on the racing line. He doesn't even have to push too hard here. They've got to look after tyres. But ultimately, Humphries has got the keys to the podium here. This is all about Hudson Cooper trying to throw something really unexpected into the mix, and that's the only way he's really going to get the measure of Tyler Humphries on this circuit in these conditions, because you can't just go gung-ho and throw the bike up the inside and expect the tyres to grip. This is all on instinct, and every corner, those grip levels and that ability to get the traction around the apex is going to change each lap. No worries at all for Harry Rafferty still. He's got that crucial little bit of a gap to move his way further forward. So all going well at the moment, but you do get the sense that things are going to change. Rafferty has now got Everts behind him. Everts, of course, trying to work his way forward, having got ahead of Josh Herring now. So the 61 bike, trying to get the measure of it, and back again we've got Hudson Cooper all over Tyler Humphries. Still he can't find the way through into the pit bend, along the pit straight and up to paddock bend. He tries every trick in the book, and every time he's got to move, Tyler Humphries has got a response. This is really neat riding from both men at the moment. They have got the measure of each other, and this is exactly what they need to do. It is stalemate. A really slippery, really rapid game of chess between these two riders as they go through the S's again, and they will approach the Rogerson straight. Humphries is aiming to stretch away from Hudson Cooper. Cooper is hoping that he tightens his grip as across the line. Further back, that is still the battle in the FIM 190/70. Everts now in front of Rafferty and Herring. They're still battling away. Here comes Hudson Cooper. He fancies his chances on the back of Tyler Humphries. There's not a lot he can do to resist now. He's finally made it work out of Luna, and through he goes, having set that up beautifully along the Conrod straight. Up into third place now goes Hudson Cooper as we watch the battle further back in the pack. Back with the MiniGP UK 190s. It has been a very interesting one, as Everts has taken the lead. We know that. Rafferty ahead of Herring. And then it is David Wilton who is trying to close up on Lucas King. But now we've got the leading runners working their way through the traffic. And Rafferty's back in front. I just saw him there. Rafferty ahead of Everts. Saw him in there in the distance. So in FIM MiniGP UK 190, it's still Charlie Cunningham. In the MiniGP 190/70 BMB category, Rafferty is back into the lead ahead of Everts and Herring. We're getting into the closing stages now of this race. There's nowhere to hide for Wilson Dilks. He now knows he's got Hudson Cooper all over the back of him in the closing stages, and he will be pushing hard here. Working his way through the traffic nicely, and that gives him a bit of breathing space to Tyler Humphries. They get past David Wilton. Last lap for the leader in the FIM 190 category. That is the road to MotoGP, and Charlie Cunningham has pulled off an absolute blinder here at Three Sisters. But the battle for second still goes strong between Wilson Dilks and Hudson Cooper, with Tyler Humphries waiting in the wings in fourth position. They work their way through Paddock Bend. They'll go up towards Lucy's Valley, and This is where a really tricky opportunity could open up here for Hudson Cooper, but he's being calculated. He sits behind Wilson Dilks, still trying to find that move. Tyler Humphries is staying hungry. You never know what's going to happen at Three Sisters. Just keep going through the S's and along the Rogerson Straight. But out front, it is a dominant victory in the offing for Charlie Cunningham. There's the leading battle in MiniGP 190-70. Still nothing in it between Rafferty, Herring and Everts. But Charlie Cunningham takes the checkered flag dominantly here at Three Sisters. Oh! Hudson Cooper! Third position! Last lap, he's gone! I cannot believe it! Last corner, last lap, and it's thrown away. Dilks gets second, Humphries gets third, and Cooper is out on the final bend. As dramatic as you like, Charlie Cunningham picks up the win then from Wilson Dilks and Tyler Humphries in FIA MiniGP UK 190. In the MiniGP 190-70 race, just half a second separates Rafferty, Herring and Everts. There is more fantastic action on the way here at Three Sisters in just a few moments.